Guys, so this video I've been wanting to make for a while now, and I'm going to call it Mastering the Basics, okay? So it's going to be about exercise selection and exercise programming, okay? I have a whiteboard back here, it has some bullet points, I don't know if you guys can read it, but the first one is purpose. Every exercise that we do has a purpose. You should be able to answer why we're doing it, and we should be able to answer what we're accomplishing while we're doing it. And that just comes down to basic science of biomechanics and pretty much what are we doing effectively to accomplish doing that exercise and achieving it through a full range of motion. The next bullet point is risk and reward. Every exercise that you do, you are susceptible to injury, and we need to know that no matter what we do, when you are challenging yourself, technique is number one. If we have poor technique over time, you're gonna get injured, okay? And that's why we stress it so much. Risk and reward. And that dates back to purpose now. So each exercise that we do has a purpose, okay? If we're doing squats, based on rep scheme, most of the time it's for strength. We're building strength in our lower body and our core to support us. Box jumps, a purpose of a box jump is to increase lower body explosiveness. You're taking what's called kinetic energy into potential energy down and transferring it up into the maximal amount of resistance up. Gravity acts against us and we land. The purpose of a box jump is for lower body explosiveness. I think a lot of times people take exercises and turn them into something that they're not for, and that tends to get people hurt. A lot of times I tell you guys not over 5 or 8 reps on a box jump. It's simply because we're looking at the quality of the rep and not the quantity, okay? You don't want to turn an exercise into something that it's not for. That's where people get hurt. Your body works in 3 planes of motion. Your sagittal plane is front and back, okay? Front lunges forward, reverse lunges back. That's your sagittal plane. Also kettlebell swings. Your frontal plane, or what's called your cardinal plane, lateral raises is a great example of that. Lateral raises, we're working through this range of motion. And then your transverse plane is a little bit of a combination of everything. A good example of that is a chop from a high to a low or from a low to a high, okay? And I think the best thing that we do here is we simplify things, but we challenge ourselves and we master the basics, okay? We're not doing a squat into a lateral lunge, into a box jump, into a burpee. You know, I really don't see the purpose in that as far as from a trainer's standpoint and the biomechanics of it. Why don't we fully grasp everything that we can get from a squat and then we go on to that? And I think that's what a lot of people fail to do, is we try and master too much, and we're working within 3 different planes of motion at the same time, and our joints are not made for that way. The joint by joint theory states that our ankle, from our big toe all the way up to our head, our body works for mobility and stability. Each joint is separate, and what we want to do is we want to work within ranges of motion that allow for that to happen. So from your big toe, it's mobility, middle of your foot, stability, ankles, mobility, knees, stability, hips, mobility, lower back is stability, all the way up. It works in this series, and if we can do that, and if we can select exercises to best represent those certain things, we're going to get the most quantity and quality out of our training, okay? I know it's a lot. If you guys have questions, this is the part that I truly love, is the programming and everything, and why and what we're accomplishing. You should always